We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 278. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the one and only, the always ever, Schwipper-vescent Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how's it going tonight, sir?
The undisputed scholar is fine, thank you. Had a nice couple weeks off. Mainly just tending to the family, being a responsible parent. And I just have to say, in response to what our missing, reigning, defending, undisputed Brian Two Belts had to say last week, as I said on my Twitter, the man, he's upset that I wasn't there to quote, rub it in my face that he is,
as the kids say,
that he has both the Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship and the Scholars of Wrestling Party Championship. And yes, I responded to it on Twitter, but I just have to say it on the show. Brian, you have nothing to prove to me. You, out of me, Jeff, and Charlie, I was the only one of us to actually congratulate you on Survivor Series night. Congratulate you on your well-deserved victory. Excuse me. And I graciously say, I think you are trying to, quote, rub it in my face to... Instead, it's like, see, I'm doing this. Aren't you proud of me? Yes, Brian, I am very proud of you because now you are just continuing to slowly rise up the ranks and actually getting to the same level as me. Now, all you need to do is win the Royal Rumble game. And guess what? You can then officially declare yourself as an undisputed scholar. But until we cross that bridge, it is, once again, I'm going to say, congratulations on your title wins and congratulations on your inevitable Scholar of the Year when we get to the Schollies.
And here I seem to feel like I get a whole lot of trash talk about me not trash talking enough. Then as soon as I start trash talking, everyone is all yay sportsmanship. What gives? What gives, I say?
Hey, he's just rising up those ranks. He's proving he's proving to be on the same level as me. Last year was my year. I could say last year was definitely my year. First, I started the year as Scholars of Wrestling champion. I ended the year as Scholars of Wrestling champion. Granted, I did lose the belt, but I won it back that year. I won the Scholar of the Year. I was the first ever Scholar Money in the Bank. I won that year's Royal Rumble game, I think.
No, I thought you did that a couple years prior.
That is correct. I did, yeah. But all I could say, Scholar of the Year, Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar in the Bank. It was it was definitely the year of Scholar Tarek. This year is definitely the year of Scholar Brian. And to keep this flow going, next year will probably be the year of Scholar Jeff. Fingers crossed on that one. It'll just...
Yes. If I didn't win this year's Royal Rumble game, I'd say, yeah, it would be undisputedly Scholar Brian's year. But you know what? As with all other things, my year is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it is coming.
And I won the last 2 years of Scholar of the Year. So,
I'm sure there's a meme in there somewhere. But
it's a T-shirt for me, Undisputed Scholar, and on the back, just all the list of my accomplishments with a check on that list.
Yeah,
every single thing.
We gotta get to work on the Scholars Teespring, don't we?
Oh, most definitely.
But until then, right now, as of today, this Sunday is WWE TLC, the last WWE pay-per-view of the year. and we're relaxing in the Scholars Lounge, ready to review it all. But before we get there, Scholar Tark, as you were hinting on your Twitter machine, you seem to have a bit of a rant in your back pocket, ready to go after this past Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yes.
What's that about?
Oh, yes, I certainly do. Now, the big story that came out of Monday Night Raw was Seth Rollins revealing, quite literally, to be the big bad, teaming up with AOP, officially turning heel. Well, in my opinion, he was already a heel, but this is actually a heel. Like, Seth Rollins was a heel who believed he was a face for a good long time. Now it's a heel who is definitely a heel now. Full on heel turn, full on bad guy Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I figured it was a little inevitable. They drug it out a bit, but I have to admit, I liked the execution.
I honestly did not. Because with what you just said, they kind of drug it out. They kind of drew it out. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I didn't think they drew it out at all. From what they were doing with the storyline of Seth Rollins' character as a heel who believed he was a good guy, who was trying to basically please the crowd, and he exemplified this last week when he's just like, what do you want me to do? What can I do? Because no matter what I do, I always end up getting booed. I always end up looking like the bad guy here. So when he actually had this heel turn, it didn't feel natural in the progression of this storyline. So how obviously from what I've read, the reason they had this heel turn so inept is so snap of the finger is apparently he has injured his wrist at a house show against Eric Rowan, and that's the main reason why he didn't wrestle this week, because he wasn't cleared. But now, as of this recording, he actually is cleared. The whole point was the whole thing was questioning whether or not he'd be cleared or not for TLC. So I guess they were probably going to do what Brian thought they were going to do, was just have them be in a tag team, and that's when Seth Rollins would turn officially heel. But again, I don't think that would have worked for his character. See, now comes the whole, I'm pretty much rebooking the main storyline on Raw. And actually kind of rebooking the United States title picture to a point where I could have saw a fatal four-way for the U.S. title. But I'll get there later. Now we're talking about Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. See, how I would have opened this, instead of opening Raw with the divorce court with Rusev and Lana, I honestly would have saved that for maybe the first hour of Raw. I feel like Raw should have opened up with Kevin Owens explaining how he was able to escape, and he feels that Seth Rollins and AOP are working together, and he's tired of just waiting for them to come to him. I'm going to go find them. He goes backstage looking for them. Rey Mysterio gives him the steel bat thing that almost destroyed Brock Lesnar, but ended up not. Kind of hints at what's going to happen later. So he's looking around, and keep the Mojo Rawley bit in, where where Mojo kind of trolls him. They could be this way, they could be that way. Maybe they went both ways. I don't know. And keep the Sami Zayn showing up and saying, I am now manager of Mojo Rawley. And have the main event of the show be Mojo Rawley versus Kevin Owens. Instead of just having a stupid beatdown, which I got to give credit to Mojo Rawley, seeing those welts on his back after the pipe beatdown that Owens gave him. Good for you, man. Good for you.
He's hungry.
But in the end, that whole beating just it was just completely a waste of time. And basically made Mojo Rawley look like even more nothing than he is now. So how I'm booking it is have him be the main event with him and Kevin Owens. So to establish him as a player. Not a major player, but a player. So we can finally, this will be his transition back onto television. Have them go ahead, have them have a quick match. Kevin Owens obviously wins. AOP comes down and attacks Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens tries to beat him with the pipe, but it just turns out inevitable. 2-on-1. Beat down. Seth Rollins comes in with a steel chair and basically chases AOP off. AOP is just looking at him, smiling at Seth Rollins as they're walking away, nodding, and they're walking away. Seth is just looking at him like, really, guys? Really? And then he tries to help Kevin Owens up. But Kevin Owens, still suspicious, no, I want nothing to do with you. Seth obviously gets frustrated. He looks at the crowd. The crowd are most likely booing because that's how Seth Rollins is getting reactions these days. Have this be a heel turn. He takes the steel chair and, mirroring what he did with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose with the Shield, beats down Kevin Owens with a steel chair. Setting up a singles match between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens in a chairs match. TLC.
Aha.
Give them a chairs match. So have that set up for TLC and have it be a TLC where he finally, AOP comes down and beats him up, and Seth, taking advantage of the situation, then curb stomps Kevin Owens, and not officially teams up with them. Save that for the next night on Raw, and then have him explain. It was just inevitable. No matter what I did to show all of you, to show Kevin Owens that I am a good person. I am a leader. You kept turning away from what I don't know what you people want. So you kept thinking I'm with AOP. You know what? I'm now with AOP because that's what you people want, right? I don't. Oh, you're still booing me? What do you people want from me? And that just leads more to I'm the whole typical heel you people turned on me, where it actually makes sense. So pretty much his heel promo that he had on this Raw, save it for after TLC, when he officially joins up with AOP. Not just, oh, I've been working with them the whole time. So what about all those times when you're saying you weren't, and you were actually trying your hardest? So it's like, I'm tired of you people trying. It's like me trying to make you people happy when all you think, oh, he's with AOP. Well, you know what? You people want me with AOP? Fine. AOP, I am now with AOP.
And you know what? I was a little confused until you said this leads up to a chairs match at TLC. And I was like, it's been done before, but the way it leads up to that, yeah, it does make sense.
It makes more sense than just, oh, he's just in the backseat of a car with his hood up, doing the basically James Bond villain turning the chair. It was me all along, Owens.
And you know what? Because of how it was delivered in the promos that he did after the fact, where he was talking about, like, okay, what you thought ended up becoming reality, it seemed like that's what you described was what he was going for.
It is what he was going for, but because this episode felt so abrupt, like it just basically is like any type of character that he was building these last couple of weeks are completely out the window. So it ruined the story for me. In the end, Brian got what he wanted. Just have them be together. But like I said, I want the journey to be as interesting as the destination. And I felt like building up to that, especially with, okay, have the heel turn, but he's not aligned with AOP yet, and have the handshake with AOP be at TLC, and then the next week on Raw, you people wanted me with AOP? Well, now I'm with AOP. Are you happy now? Is this what you people want from me? That kind of ordeal. And it actually would fit with the character that he was building these past few weeks.
And you know what? I'm totally on board with that. I think that's why I was referring to when I said it seemed like it was dragging, because I knew that they were going to do something with him. It seemed obvious to me anyway that they were going to eventually lead up to some sort of pairing with AOP. They were going to capitalize it eventually. So all this entire time, I was just waiting for it. Like I'm just like, just do it. We know it's coming. Just do it. But then when he did it, at least Seth Rollins took the continuity route with his character, where, like you said, the pacing may have been off, but the narrative that he was putting out there, it all added up, and all added to some coherent character work.
It was the execution of the heel turn where he was pretty much revealing himself as the higher power.
Oh.
That it didn't work because it just felt completely it was just out of nowhere. And then he had the promo to help him, but it was still that execution. At least one thing, it would have built a match to TLC, which now he's cleared for.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, yes, they probably changed these plans because of his hand injury, and so he wasn't cleared to wrestle. But even so, he didn't need to do much on this past Raw other than just attack Kevin Owens with a steel chair and one curb stomp to set up, maybe set it up at backstage, since it's a news show. Say, because of the events that happened between that Seth Rollins attacked Kevin Owens after Seth offered a hand in friendship, but Kevin Owens turned it down. That would be like, okay, now we have a chairs match. But now we don't have that. Who knows what we're going to have, if we're going to have anything at all with them.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get with these guys. Well, I've got one plan. I've got one idea, and actually my plan does lead into this Sunday's pay-per-view, WWE TLC 2019, and I'll get to that in just a minute, where we're kicking things off with the Viking Raiders defending their tag titles against a team to be announced.
It's an open challenge. Viking Raiders are calling out an open challenge, and I actually like the fact that they're dropping the squash matches for the Viking War Raider experience. Although it's like that's pretty much what Raw is nowadays. Most of them are just squash matches.
Yeah.
But at least for one of these matches on this card, it actually makes sense. But like if you put someone like Drew McIntyre, basically squashing Matt Hardy this week and Akira Tozawa last week. Like I said, I had a whole United States title story built, in which instead of having that as the main event on Raw, have that be the main event of the second hour. And when Randy Orton when Mysterio beats Styles, basically keep that narrative going. And Randy Orton basically RKO's Styles, and then Orton turns around into a Claymore from Drew McIntyre out of nowhere. Because Randy Orton is feuding with Drew McIntyre as well as AJ Styles. And have that be a fatal four-way for the United States Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre. So it would actually give those guys something to do other than just giving Drew McIntyre absolutely nothing to do. But whatever. Hey. But when it comes to the Viking War Raider experience versus the with their open challenge,
yes,
let's throw the extra point out there and place a prediction on who we think is going to answer the open challenge. Fool, you can go ahead.
Okay, I will go first. Well, I had to give this a little bit of thought. I've heard rumors. I've heard any number of things going on. And given what's been happening with all these people, all these players involved, and especially now that a certain someone's cleared, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to say AOP. And then with the help of Seth Rollins, this match is probably going to be much higher up on the card. AOP ends up being announced as the challengers. Seth Rollins comes out with them, ends up interfering with the match, and yeah, AOP are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. That will set up for an inevitable rematch with a straight-up match at the Royal Rumble, Viking Raiders versus AOP. That's where you were going, weren't you?
Honestly, yeah, it was exactly where I was going with, especially with this new development. And originally, from like the original, you know what? Just to be different, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go with like the original rumored opponents that they were going for. I'm gonna go with the OC, Gallows and Anderson.
I came very close to going with them, but after thinking about it and after your whole spiel, I was like, you know what? They're probably going to do it. There's a chance they're going to do that.
I think they're gonna save AOP winning the tag. They're gonna be the next people to win the tag team title. They're gonna be the ones who defeat the Viking Raiders. But I think they're actually gonna save that for. If anything, they're gonna save that for Rumble. Or if anything, a Raw. They're gonna keep doing open challenges, and AOP is gonna end up winning. But right now, it looks like they're just staying away from the Viking War Raider experience, and they're just going to keep going with some open challenges and just continue beating some other tag teams before bringing it to AOP, just to continue the dominance or show the dominance of AOP when they beat the Viking War Raider experience. So I'm going to say the OC and the Viking War Raider experience wins.
Okay.
I'm most likely wrong, but I'm just basically doing it to be different.
Hey, and it will make the show more interesting. Speaking of making the show more interesting, the people with the golden touch, Rusev versus Bobby Lashley.
In a tables match.
Fool, who do you got in this exciting familial drama?
I don't see this feud ending in this match.
I agree.
And because we already have the visual of Bobby Lashley going through a table from this past Raw, I think with the help of Lana, Bobby Lashley is going to win. Because, like I said, this feud is going to continue after this. I don't see this being the final. Although they did hint at it. I mean, they finally got a divorce. Divorce. But Vince is too much in love with this storyline for it to end now. Because remember, this is for an audience of one, and that's Vince McMahon. And I see Bobby Lashley continuing. I see Bobby Lashley it's because it's a tables match. Rusev is not going to get because Rusev is not getting pinned, and I see Lana being an outside interference. I see Bobby Lashley.
Part of me wants to say Rusev just because I want to see this feud eventually wind down.
Oh, we all want to see this feud end.
But I wish I didn't have as much doubt as I do. I know that there's a chance that Rusev could win this, but I'm going to have to go with Bobby Lashley on this one. I've got a very bad feeling that they're actually going to not only are they going to keep this going, that eventually they're going to take it to such an extreme that they're going to do what we all really want to see. And they're going to give us a Lana on a pole match. Mark my words. It's going to happen in the next few months. It's going to be a Lana on a pole match or Lana in a cage match.
Or they're going to do what CM Punk said. Bobby Lashley and Rusev versus a tag team that doesn't want Lana, and Lana's in the shark cage, and the loser gets Lana. That's funny shit.
At the very least, one good thing I can actually say about this is all players involved seem to realize how stupid this whole thing is.
Oh, everyone in this story hates this feud.
There's two ways to make good by this storyline. Either end it immediately or double down for maximum wackiness. Right now, they're doubling down for maximum wackiness.
Rusev came out in a Donald Duck shirt. You can't get any more wacky than that.
And you know what? Suddenly, I'm okay with this. Like, if they're going to go full on 90s zaniness, then double down on that. Go full 90s
It's like
zaniness.
they realize how stupid this storyline is, and the people involved in it are just going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because this storyline is so stupid. So let's just make this stupid fun.
Yeah.
At least
So,
that's what's getting the crowd. That's what actually is making the crowd like this, because Rusev just doesn't give two shits about this storyline.
And Lana is just absolute ham, and then Bobby Lashley is just there.
Bobby Lashley is going to put Rusev through a table, and he's going to celebrate with Lana and his sisters.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's right. I brought
you just
that
had
back.
to make me remember that. All right, I need some brain bleach. Let's talk Kabuki Warriors versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
I must say, I hate this storyline as much as Becky and Charlotte do.
I don't hate it just because it means more TV time for the Kabuki Warriors, and I like them.
I would like it too if the Kabuki Warriors were actually booked to look strong in this storyline, which they don't. The last few weeks, they faced Charlotte and they barely won. In a 2-on-1 handicap match, the Kabuki Warriors barely won against Charlotte, and they couldn't beat Becky, so they had to disqualify themselves. I'm sorry, this storyline makes Asuka and Kairi Sane look like punks. I know they're heels, and that's how Vince McMahon always looks at heels, but this is a top women's division feud. With basically 4 of the best women that WWE has. And 2 of them don't even want to be in this storyline because they look down on the tag team division just like how Vince McMahon looks down on the tag team division. So it's the whole storyline is booked like crap. The Kabuki Warriors are booked like crap, and because they barely beat Charlotte and Becky Lynch 2-on-1, I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Because they're the stars, and this is the storyline that Vince. It's not about the Kabuki Warriors. It's about Becky and Charlotte, and that's disappointing to me.
Your logic is sound, but once again, I still have some doubt. I am convinced that their booking is not as bad as you seem to think it is. That's just my opinion, but it's enough doubt in my mind that says to me, you know what? Maybe they're going to pull a little bit of a fast one on us and do a little bit of sneaky on us, and they're going to have them retain, leading up to some eventual rematch or some kind of something up at the Royal Rumble. So I just don't see it happening right now. Maybe later. Maybe. That's a big maybe in my eyes. Mostly because I don't think they need any more distractions on Becky Lynch. But
They don't have anything on Becky Lynch. That's why they're putting her in a tag team title match.
Yeah, and that's a shame. Like, they need to do something more with her, freshen her up, do something. But no matter how you slice it, there's still a whole lot of skepticism in my mind. So I'm going to go with Kabuki Warriors on this one.
Fair.
Now for a bit of an easy one, I feel. Someone finally picked a fight with Aleister Black. It's Buddy Murphy. Who you got out of these two guys?
This is my contender of being match of the night. I think this match is going to be just going to be awesome. And as I hinted at before, both of these guys had squash matches this past week, and I felt like it worked to their advantage on building for this one because both Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black were booked to look strong. But they both look awesome going into this match, and I think they're going to both look awesome in this match in general. But when it comes to the victor, it's obviously they're going to pick Aleister Black to be the victor. But Buddy Murphy is going to be looking very strong in defeat on this one.
Yeah, I will agree with you in the sense that I believe that both these men have the absolute capacity to have the match of the year, or match of the night, rather. Well,
hey, you never know. These guys do have the... these two guys are capable of putting a match of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
If they were actually given the time, which They're probably going to give
And that's the question. I'm so used to these guys, both of these guys individually having relatively shorter matches, where I know that if they get the time, they can absolutely put something great together.
I see them going at least 10 minutes.
That is something I'm hoping for. At this point, I'm just hoping anything beyond 6. But that being said, I'm still going to go over Aleister Black to win.
Because he's the one that's going to be, he's the one who actually is more of a star in the WWE's eyes. But like I said, Buddy Murphy's going to look really strong in defeat on this one, and hopefully he doesn't get the Cesaro treatment that the pay-per-view match he looks like a star. The next night on Raw he looks like a bitch.
Speaking of looking like a bitch or not there or no way thereof, we've got Bray Wyatt versus The Miz in what appears to be some kind of a grudge match.
Oh, what I love about this is that it's not the Fiend Bray Wyatt. It's Funhouse. It's Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. And that's something new that they're going with the Bray Wyatt character. And as people have been pointing out, it actually makes sense that it's not the Fiend going after the Miz. Because when it comes to the Fiend, he's only going after people who've wronged Bray Wyatt in the past. The Miz hasn't done that. So there's no reason for the Fiend to go after the Miz. So it's a new and it's an interesting idea of what we could see from Funhouse Bray that we're finally going to see. Which, in my opinion, I hope he just comes out to, "We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end." I hope it's just the Firefly Funhouse theme, the extended version, as his entrance.
I'm telling you what, this may not be match of the night, but it is the one that's got me the most interested to see how they're going to pull this off and what kind of tricks they can pull.
It's probably going to be match of the night for storyline purposes. It's going to be a story.
Okay.
This is not going to be a match. It is just going to be more storytelling.
So who do you believe is going to win this one?
Oh, it's going to be Bray Wyatt. Like, people are thinking, oh, because it's not the Fiend, Miz has a chance of winning. I don't think so. I feel like Bray needs to act. He's the Universal Champion. He has to go and continue looking strong.
I did believe that there was going to be some chance that maybe Daniel Bryan could show up and interfere in some way. But even if he does, he's likely going to just interfere on behalf of and cost Miz the match and give the disqualification to the Fiend because he's going to be attacking the Fiend. So either way, Bray Wyatt wins. Just that's it.
Uncle Bray
wins.
Or should we call him Mr. Wyatt? Because Mr. Rogers. Because he's a Mr. Rogers character. It's Mr. Wyatt.
He can go by many names, just as long as you don't call him Husky Harris.
No, we don't, because that's what Huskus the Pig Boy is about.
But yeah, he goes by many names.
Has your wife seen that doll yet?
Yes, she has. She has seen the Huskus the Pig doll.
Is she going to get it? Add to her collection of Firefly Funhouse minions?
She is not going to get it. She's just like, oh wow, another one. But that's beside the point. Next match on the card, we've got the New Day defending the SmackDown tag titles against the Revival.
There is literally no story to this. They're going to put on a great match because both teams are completely capable of. But I'm going to say the New Day retains.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see this on the card, just because I feel like I was just like, again, like we're seeing this again. So unless they've got something really new and big to swerve us, this is probably just going to be another encounter with these two teams. Nothing that we haven't seen before.
I don't see them hot potatoing the tag titles or anything like that. Yeah. Originally, this was supposed to be Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, but because Robert Roode got slapped with that wellness policy violation,
because he likes the drugs,
he likes to feel glorious through the drugs.
I knew that there was a pun in there somewhere.
But it's such a shame. When I actually heard about that, I actually was legit sad. And then I heard that Primo got it too, and my response was,
He's
Primo's still
hired?
there?
I think that was a universal reaction. Primo's still hired by the company? But
Okay.
hey, congratulations on your free paycheck, Primo. Enjoy. But elsewhere, we need to bring this home with the last announced match as of this Thursday when we're recording this.
It's probably going to main event the event.
I certainly hope so. Or hope not, rather.
I was say, really?
I'm missing my words here. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. Who do you got?
Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in a TLC match.
In a TLC match.
Yeah, this match is going to close the show. That's the sign of this how much they. Oh, this event. Close out the year with Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns.
Yay.
Roman.
I was gonna say
I don't. This is probably going to be the end of their feud. This is going to be their final match compared to what I say about Rusev and Lashley. This is going to be their final match, and then they're probably. It's just going to make Roman look strong into him going into the Royal Rumble, which he's the leading contender.
I hope there's some more variety in the lead up to next month's Royal Rumble that makes me believe that something else is possible, but for now, I'm going to have to agree with you. It's going to be Roman Reigns. And that's all there is to it. Maybe I'll end up skipping the main event if this actually does end up being the main event, but we're going to have to see.
Two guys that Vince McMahon is absolutely in love with. No, this feud, man.
I still have hope that something good can still come of this.
No, it's not. Nothing's good's going to come out of this.
It can end.
Yeah, but it's going to take a good half an hour, 30, 40-minute match to get to that.
But then hopefully if it stinks up the place after this night, we'll never have to hear about it again.
Sure as hell hope.
Hey, that's all we can hope for. But you know what? I'm sure we all know that by now. You've heard what we have to say. Now we're taking it over to you, our listening, wrestling, watching, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're joining in the conversation. We want to hear from you. So wherever you are, all across the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter machines, drop us a line. Let us know what you think. Who is actually going to walk away with what at TLC?
What did you think about my booking of Seth Rollins and the Seth
how
Rollins
would you
heel
do
turn?
it better? Let us know about all of these things. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all over the place. Especially on Twitter where you can join us and just join in the conversation. You can check us out at our main page at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
You can reach our champ, Brian Two Belts, at Atomic Beanpole, and you can check me out at I'm Robbie Rage. Join the conversation. I know I'm going to be doing a little bit of live tweeting on the TLC night.
I don't know if I am.
You don't know if you are?
No. Maybe. If it actually keeps me awake.
I suspect there's going to be some surprises in store of that.
Probably.
At a relatively mundane-looking show like this. And, of course, I presume that Brian's predictions are going to be up in time for the show, so you can join us in the conversation there. And, yeah, after that, those are our predictions. And
our final predictions for the year.
Our final predictions for the year. And next week is going to be our Christmas episode. And we're going to run down it all and see who won, who lost, who's walking away with the points. And you know it's going to be a big to-do.
Yay.
It will be.
Yay.
Because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all at TLC.